disadvantaged people. So where's her compassion for the father who actually brought her up, who paid for her private education while her mother was in jail, who took huge care of her, and she's not seen him in the latter years. More importantly, I mean, she's not just seen him, she's like totally snubbed him.
When was her mum in jail? When was her mum in jail?
Years ago. Do you want me to give you the precise date, time? Because I haven't got it.
I've never heard that before.
Years ago. Anyway, she. But you know, this old.
Today, we are diving into a story that has ignited the internet, shaken the royal commentary world, and exposed once again the dangerous lengths some media personalities will go just to smear Meghan Markle and her family. This isn't just gossip. This isn't just pundit chatter. This is a genuinely alarming example of defamation, racial bias, and what happens when hatred becomes so normalized that people feel entitled to rewrite reality on live television. And at the center of this newest storm is Carol Malone, a GB News regular whose entire brand seems to revolve around criticizing Meghan Markle with an intensity that borders on obsession. But this time she went too far, way too far. Because on December 4th, while sitting comfortably on a GB News set, Carol Malone looked straight into the camera and stated without doubt, without hesitation, and without a hint of evidence that Doria Ragland, Meghan Markle's mother, had been in jail during Meghan's childhood. Let's pause right here. She wasn't quoting a rumour. She wasn't misreading a report. She wasn't speculating. She presented it as fact. And she did it with the authority of someone who believed no one would question her. But social media did. The public did. Experts did. And now the fallout is monumental. This segment was supposed to be routine royal commentary. Instead, it became a case study in how misinformation spreads and how dangerous it can be in the hands of people who refuse to fact-check before they speak. Malone delivered her false claim casually, almost dismissively, as if she was stating that the sky is blue. And the GB News studio? Silent. Motionless. Not a single correction. Not a single raised eyebrow. For several seconds, the network broadcast one of the most inflammatory lies ever directed at the Sussex family. But viewers were paying attention. The clip was recorded immediately by people who have grown used to GB News trying to bury its most inflammatory mistakes. And sure enough, just as the internet predicted, the clip disappeared from the network's social platforms within hours. Deleted, scrubbed, erased. Except nothing is ever truly erased. Screenshots circulated, transcripts were published, full recordings went viral. And once people began investigating Malone's claim, the situation spiraled from reckless to outrageous. Let's lay this out as clearly as possible. Doria Ragland has never been arrested, charged, tried, convicted, or incarcerated. Ever. Not once. Not for a moment. Not for any reason. There is no record, no court file, no police report, no arrest history, no mugshot, nothing. At all. And the reason we can say this with absolute confidence is because Doria isn't just a private citizen, she's a licensed professional in a field that demands impeccable legal standing. Doria is a licensed clinical social worker in California, and that matters enormously because the licensing process involves full FBI fingerprinting, Department of Justice. Background checks, criminal record screening, ethical conduct verification, ongoing eligibility reviews. If you have a felony, a serious misdemeanor, a record of incarceration, or even unresolved legal trouble, you cannot be licensed. Period. Doria passed every requirement with ease. Her license remained active for years without incident, restriction, or complaint. For Malone's claim to be true, the entire California Licensing Board, the FBI, and the Department of Justice would have to be in on a conspiracy. Ridiculous. And it gets worse for Malone. The rumour Malone repeated didn't come from a journalist. It didn't come from court documents. It didn't come from any reputable source. It came from the darkest corners of the internet, places where misinformation spreads like wildfire. And the person at the centre of that rumour, a man named Doria Ragland, a male defendant in an unrelated case involving completely different circumstances. This man has absolutely no biological, familial or social link to Meghan Markle's mother. Carol Malone didn't just rely on a lie. She confused an unrelated man with Meghan's mother. She confused gender, identity, background, profession, entire life history. She took an online rumour and elevated it into fact on live television. That is not journalism. That is not commentary. That is defamation. Carol Malone didn't randomly mention this lie. This moment didn't come out of nowhere. To understand why this happened, you need to understand Malone's long, consistent pattern when it comes to Meghan Markle. Her formula is predictable. Assume Meghan is lying. Assume Meghan is manipulative. Assume Meghan is ungrateful. Assume Harry is weak for supporting her. And when all else fails, attack Meghan's mother. Just days earlier, Malone appeared on the Jeremy Vine show. During that appearance, a caller named Sharon confronted her, directly calling out Malone for her racially biased commentary and for her relentless hostility toward Meghan. And how did Malone respond? She dismissed the caller by saying criticism of a woman of colour is always called racist. And then, within days, she falsely accused a black woman, Meghan's mother, of being a criminal. The irony is staggering. Sharon wasn't just right, she was clairvoyant. Let's address the uncomfortable truth head-on. No one assigns fake prison sentences to white royal in-laws. No broadcaster invents criminal histories for Kate Middleton's family, the Middleton siblings, the Parker Bowles family, the Phillips family, or any other white relatives connected to the monarchy. It never happens, but it happened to Doria. Why? Because racial stereotypes about black women run deep in Western media. Unfit mother, criminal past, absent parent, dangerous background. These stereotypes are centuries old, and commentators like Malone think they can deploy them freely without consequence. But this time, people noticed. This time, people pushed back. This time, people said, enough. Under UK law, defamation is simple. If you publicly accuse a private person of a crime that they demonstrably did not commit, you are legally exposed. Malone didn't say rumour. She didn't say I heard. She didn't say allegedly. She stated the lie as fact, and GB News broadcast it unchallenged. They only deleted it after backlash exploded, after people began submitting Ofcom complaints, after legal experts denounced the segment, and after the clip went viral. But deleting the evidence doesn't erase the liability. It establishes guilt. It shows they knew it was false. It confirms they understood the legal risk. If you delete something to hide it, you're admitting wrongdoing. And Meghan Markle? She has a legal history of winning, repeatedly, against powerful institutions. This is exactly the kind of case the Sussex legal team takes seriously, because the lie implicated a private, uninvolved family member. This story isn't just about misinformation. It's about what happens when hatred becomes normalised. When commentators feel free to say anything about Meghan or her family without fear of consequences. When racially coded attacks become so routine that people stop recognising them. This is why Meghan and Harry left the UK. This is why they protect their family so fiercely. This is why Harry speaks so passionately about ending generational trauma. Imagine watching your quiet private mother be accused of being a criminal on national television by someone who knows absolutely nothing about her. Imagine knowing millions heard it. Imagine watching the clip spread before you could even respond. Imagine knowing this is the same system that hounded Princess Diana to death. Harry said it years ago. "I will not play the game that killed my mother." This story proves without question that the game never stopped. And Meghan, Doria and their children are the new targets. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was the deliberate spreading of a racialized, defamatory lie about a quiet, dignified black woman who has never engaged with the media circus. Doria Ragland deserves better. Meghan and Harry deserve better. The public deserves better. And commentary like this cannot go unchallenged. If you value truth, fairness and ethical media, make sure you're subscribed to the Sussex Insights. Hit like, share your thoughts in the comments and keep this conversation going. Your engagement exposes misinformation and gives power back to the truth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.